it started at OSHUG 49. There's Julius at the front. And in a Q&A session, myself and Alan, we had this idea that if we made a FPGA board using open source hardware and made it available at the right price, would people come and buy it and gain access to the world of FPGAs? So that set us out on an adventure. We designed it in EagleCAD. This is our friend Toby, who manufactured them in Shenzhen. Here was one of the first samples, which we delivered to Hebden Bridge almost exactly this time last year, just in time for the open source hardware camp, which was quite well attended. And then in December in central London, we ran another workshop getting people started with the Project myStorm toolchain and our hardware. Again, quite well attended. So what is this little FPGA board good for? Well, I'm of the opinion that it will provide ideal hardware for a very low-cost education platform. And some of you may be familiar with this book and the popularly named course from NAND to Tetris, which takes you through the design of a simple CPU in about 6 chapters. This book is great. It provides a whole lot of resources for simulating and writing in a hardware description language, but there isn't any real hardware. And so I believe that our little board will be able to fill in that gap. From our Spanish friends, Juan Gonzalez, who's working out of one of the universities of Madrid, he's put together a little educational CPU which will run on the myStorm hardware. Then there's experimental CPUs. This is OPC6. OPC6 is a one-page computer. The idea being that you're only given one page of fan-fold printer paper, which is 66 lines, and you've got to get your CPU described in 66 long lines. I think 132 character wide. So one of our friends, David Banks, implemented that. That'll rattle away at 40 megahertz on the myStorm board. And he's got a little program that calculates pi to a few places and various other things. So I can probably demo that tomorrow. And re-implementing some old friends. Any idea who this one is? Yes, well done. It's actually 8080, I think. Okay, so oh right, sorry. Of course, they use different mnemonics. Anyway, I just picked the 256 more interesting ones. And EDSAC, the 1949 Cambridge machine. We had a great workshop this last week, and more to be said about that tomorrow. And then finally, you can follow us on Twitter. I'm Monsonite and Al is Folknology. You can find a forum at mystorm.co.uk. And just one other point. 20 years ago, this is the website of the late Jeff Fox. Now, Jeff Fox worked with Charles Moore on stack CPUs. And even in the mid-1990s, which I hear was the fertile period for creating chips, Chuck Moore was working on interesting, very high-speed stack machines that implemented minimal instruction set computers. And this is an area where I think our little board can contribute. And if anybody wants to come and chat to me about that later, I'm here until just after tomorrow lunch. So thank you very much.